Welcome to Grow My Etsy Shop podcast, the drips of knowledge you need to start growing.
Hey, welcome. So I am currently still in Guatemala, and I'm in a different Airbnb than I was last week. This one is more downtown, so it's a little bit more loud, and I'm currently on my balcony, and so I'm hoping that you don't hear the cars and the horns that are coming by. So today is a little bit of a different episode. I'm going to be just answering questions from my school group and from emails that I get and things like this. People tend to just write in and say, hey, this is where I'm at, or what do you think of this, or whatever. And so a lot of the people I've worked with in the past I have a relationship with. And so I thought, hey, let's go through this and talk about what Etsy shops are asking right now. And maybe you fall under this umbrella. So let's do it. All right. So here's question number one. This person asked, I keep wondering whether I should spend more time creating new listings or improving the ones I already have. What would you focus on? This is a great question. So many people get caught up in their preferred activities. So I've seen this so often that people who are really creative will spend time doing creative things. If they're really analytical, they'll spend time doing analytical things. If they're really into taking photographs, they'll take a lot of photographs. Like they just do the things that they prefer to do. And if there's money connected to it, great. And you kind of have to rewire your brain when you're a small business owner because you wear so many hats. You can't just do the things that you prefer. So what you have to do is you have to look at your day when you're starting your day and you have to say, which one has the most ROI connected to it? And if you ask yourself that question starting each day, you'll find that you will be a little bit more focused. Now, when I say the most ROI, I mean, which one is going to give you more cash the fastest? And so if there's something, if you're a bit of a bit bigger business, there might be a bottleneck that you're suffering with. If you're a smaller business, and I talked about this last week, a lot of times it's traffic oriented. So if I'm spending my time improving my listings, am I getting the traffic that I need? Maybe not. Am I spending more time creating listings? Is that going to be helpful for me? Maybe. I'm a big believer of, and this is how I tend to do most things, is I go about 80%, 70% in effort when I'm dabbling, because I want to see if there's interest first. And once I know there's interest, that's when I then take time to optimize what I'm doing. So once I can see, and this is great for Etsy, allows you to do this, is to see like, is something generating views? And this can be done through your ad account. You can check that. Or is it generating clicks, which you can just do through your stats on Etsy? And if it is, that's when we take that last 30% to really make something worth it. But what you don't want to do is get stuck creating the perfect listing for weeks only to have it not be seen. So I'm a believer of create, get into a rhythm, get good at creating, that you are good. And then from there, as you start to see the data, lock in and be great. Okay, question number 2. This is from an email 2 days ago. Hey, Jared, I love your podcast. I've tried listening to other Etsy podcasts, but yours has the best practical advice, and I feel like I get direction from listening to your podcast. Thank you. I've been selling on Etsy for a few years. My shop name is, why don't we just pull them up? All right, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to pull them up, and on the podcast, I'll talk this out. Okay, we are currently in his shop. So if you are on the podcast, I'll walk through verbally with you. If you want to jump over to YouTube, there's a link in the description. You can jump over and take a look at this. So what he sells, it looks like, are function hooks, and they look like they're 3D printed and they're able to just be easily installed. Okay. So his question, it's kind of unique. Let me pull it up one more time for you here. It says, I've been selling on Etsy for a few years. My shop name is blank. I've tried running ads several times over the last couple of years, and I've noticed a pattern. Every time I run ads, it absolutely kills my sales. My sales stop, and when I turn ads off, my sales resume. I've tried to understand this, and I would love to know if you understand this or if you have experience in this. That is really strange. And I don't hear, and when I say I don't hear, I've never really heard that before, which is I run sales and my organic stops. So the first thing that I would do is I would try to run different versions of products at a low amount. Try $1. And does it kill your sales completely? But when I'm looking at your product, and for those on YouTube, you'll see this, I can see the way he's starting off his his listings. Like for this one right here, we see it's titled Nail Lock Ceiling Hook. Who the heck is searching nail lock ceiling hook? Not much. This one says nail lock headphone hook. Again, the first 6 words in your description are the most important, and it's where Etsy's going to know what it is that you're selling. So we don't want to start it with nail lock. We want to start it with headphone hook. That's what you're selling. And then from there, what happens is when you get into these really kind of niched things, and then you go to run ads and it runs it into more of a broad match keyword, you don't get the clicks that you need, and then it affects your ads. But in your scenario where you're saying it's affecting your organic, that's a really strange thing. The only thing I can actually think of is you're probably already on, I don't know. Actually, I really don't know. I would have to look at your ad account to be able to make an educated guess. But I do want to point out some things now that we're on your site. So the first thing is you have a video showing you installing it, which I think is great because it shows how easy it is to install. However, they're not ready for this video yet. So you're trying to show them how easy it is to install and something they don't know if they want. I also noticed that your front picture is 6 headphone hooks with no headphones on them in different colors. I'm not ready to select a color because I'm not sold on the product. So what should this be? I should see headphones being hooked on this. That's what I should see. I should see the functionality and say, I can see my life with that. Then I care about how easy it is to install. And I think I just jumped into your listing here. I think we can share that. I think we can show that, but you want to show that later once they've been sold. So when I look at this, and yeah, I currently I'm looking at a picture. It's the third picture. It says primary color, accent color. We're not caring about colors at the moment. I need to see that this thing works, that it's going to make my life easy, that the headphones are there, that it gives the aesthetic that I'm looking for. And my SEO needs to match this. So as I'm looking at it here, I see nail lock headphone hook. Then in the middle of his listing, he writes, choose your colors. And then he writes, headphone holder for gamer, creative, office. And then it cuts off. I'm going to tell you this right now. Headphone hook is what should be leading this title, headphone hook. And then I'm going to create multiple listings of this product. And I'm going to put it in a game room. I'm going to put it on a bedside. I'm going to put it in an office. And I'm going to say headphone hook for offices, headphone hook for for game room, headphone hook for bedside, right off the top. Because what I'm trying to do is train Etsy that this is a headphone hook with an aesthetic for this particular area. And that's going to be what most people are searching for, is office decor, headphone stuff, gamer gifts or whatever. And that's where you're going to want to be found under. And so train Etsy by using this listing multiple times, changing that front picture out and putting it in a game room, on a bedside, and promoting it for that. Then once I see it and I can see that the headphones are hung up, that it looks like it's cool, it's got the aesthetics that I'm looking for. There's a big truck driving by here. I hope you can't hear it. I'm in Guatemala for those following along at home. Once we have all of that, that's when we can start to say, hey, it comes in multiple colors. Hey, look how easy it is to install. I'm a big believer. I love the strategy of saying, here's some photos to show you how easy it is to install. And I include a free YouTube link that will teach you how to install it when you purchase. It takes 45 seconds and 3 nails. Anyone can do it. Then when they buy your thing, you send them the YouTube link and the message notes, or you have a card that comes with it that says scan to install. They scan it. You teach them right there. Hey, I'm Chris. I make these all sorts of cool stuff for your home, office, kitchens, whatever. Here's how to install this. Boom. And then open another door. Hey, if you're interested in some other things I've got, I can get 15% off for anything else in my store. Come check it out. It's here. What a great opportunity to sell at that stage, because you know they're going to be installing and you're taking advantage of that. Okay, let's jump to a next question. Okay, I have another question here. This is from someone who I've been working with. They are selling on Amazon and doing really well on Amazon. And this particular product is doing well on Amazon. And so she's tried to sell on an Etsy before, hasn't had a lot of success. So she's recreated the listing, put it up on Etsy, and has sent it to me to say, hey, what do you think? So again, if you're on YouTube, I have it open. If not, we'll talk this through. It is a personalized cross that's a magnet that is meant for baptism. Okay. Off the bat, the main photo shows the product white background. Does Jared like white backgrounds? No, Jared doesn't like white backgrounds. I can see as I'm going through these pictures that she's used a lot of AI to create kind of the flow of it, which I think she's done a really good job considering that it is AI, but it looks AI. What I want to see is at least one picture within the first three. So that's either your video or the picture before the video, the picture after the video, whatever, that shows you handling the product. This is something so easy. It's lasered. She could easily hold it up in her hand and show it, because what we're trying to do is erase the fear of this is some junky product. So we can do that by showing the product in real life. And then as soon as someone makes that decision of like, okay, I see it, it's good. Think of it this way. I'm currently traveling right now, staying in Airbnbs. If I'm looking at Airbnbs and every picture is staged and taking pictures of like the lamps, have you ever seen that? And you're like trying to kind of get a layout of the land, but you can't quite get it. There's something really sus about that. But when someone just says, boom, here it is, and you can look at it, and then they got a bunch of pictures of the lamps and stuff like that, you aren't offended as quickly as you were before, because you're like, at least I know what I'm walking into. I got what it is. You need to do something similar if you're going to be a heavy AI user for your listings. You need to show some of the real product and then put it into real case uses, give it the vibe you're looking for, show it in that and this and that. That's when you can use AI to bring that, because then they already know what the product looks like and you're helping them use their imagination instead of 100% on their imagination. So my number one feedback off of this would be, make sure you're showing that product in your hand, dealing with it, holding it back and forth, something that lets them know that it's a real product. I am going to jump over to the SEO really quick, because again, if we talk about the importance of the beginning stage, this says personalized, which I do like starting listings with personalized, because Etsy automatically filters right off the bat. Custom and personalized, you will be in less competition. So if she just had baptismal gift magnets or whatever, that would be all personalized and non-personalized. If you say personalized, it just shows the personalized, because Etsy's smart enough to know that someone's looking for something that's personalized, and they have their own built-in filter for that. So starting a sentence with personalized or customized is great. Okay, so then we look at the rest. Cross magnet baptism gift. Do I know what the product is? Kind of. My feeling is we should personalize baptism gift, then hit magnet. I don't even know if magnet is the right word based on what I'm looking at here. Oh, it's quite large. I think I would play around with that SEO a bit of exactly what this is. And so is this supposed to be a keepsake? Is it a gift? Is it something you remember your baptism with? Try to get those words in the beginning part, because that's kind of what people are going to be wanting or searching for. And then you can fill in, which is what I call filler words, which is after you've kind of really hit home what it is. That's when you could put custom Christian baptismal favor, for example, which is what she wrote. That's fine for that back half. But the front half, we want to make sure we understand what this is more. And she currently is showing it in a locker. She's showing it on a whiteboard. She's showing it in a fridge. This, again, can be broken into sections. And so if we want to target teens, locker is a great way to do it. If we want to target the families, refrigerator, whiteboard, it's a great place to do it. But the idea is, what is this accomplishing? What is it doing? And maybe, actually, I should look at her storytelling here. So she has in her second picture, a gift she'll treasure, and then has the little baptism and the cross that's available. Her next one says, Christ-centered baptism keepsake. The next one says, meaningful gift for a baptism day. So all this is true. They're meaningful gifts. It's Christ-centered. We get that. But what will it do for the person? So what I like to think about is when someone is gifting this to someone, they want something, right? They want a reaction. They want someone to feel a certain way. And so you want to make sure that you include that in what you're doing. So in this scenario, if you're giving it to someone, you want to be able to say something they'll keep forever. Remember the day, remember this special day, remember the promises they made, remember their baptism or whatever it is. this is what this is. It is something that helps them remember. And what, to go even one layer deeper here, I try to take the tagline that they use to describe the gift. They say, oh my, so when they open it up and they say, oh my gosh, this is so cute. You then can say, oh, I just wanted to give Sophie something to remember her baptism with. Bing. That's the wording that you use. And when we're doing copy, a lot of times in my day job as a growth marketer, we're not trying to come up with crafty headlines. We're trying to come up with the exact headline that they're thinking. So exact words that they use, because as soon as you, oh, my camera almost fell off there. As soon as you lock in, as soon as you can say exactly what they're thinking, that's when they're like, perfect. I trust, I know, I like, I want to buy. Okay, so those two walkthroughs kind of took up the time for our podcast this week, but I think the two things that we can pull from this, and just by looking at those two shops, was how important that first headline and 3 pictures are, and what we should be putting our focus towards, which is they aren't sold. They don't want your product yet. They are just shopping with the potential of handing money over. They've shown interest, not sold. So don't treat them like they're sold. Hey, what color you want? You instead say, look, let me show you why this product is really good, why you're going to like it. Let me put the words in your mouth of what you're already thinking and make it so that you feel, yes, I want this product. And then you sprinkle in, hey, I got different colors, I got different options, I could put your name on it, all that fun stuff. But let's make sure that we're always focusing on what is our customer wanting, and let's sell them that. So if I'm selling a headphone hang, what do they want? They want to be able to hang their headphones. So show them hanging their headphones and how cool it's going to look and how it's going to be less cluttered and how it's going to have a vibe that they're looking for. Then you can say, look how easy it is to install. Look at what colors it comes in. That's when that makes sense. Okay, guys, till next week.